David Cage is one of video gaming's most visible auteurs. The director is known for his love of cinema and taking the forms of films and smashing them into video games even where they don't fit, pushing the player to the edge of sanity in the process. Cage's latest, Detroit, is set in a dystopian future where robots have gone bad. And while this may have been done before, with Cage at the helm, here's 5 reasons why it'll be one of the most terrifying games ever made. Number 5. It's made by David Cage. David Cage is one of the most inspirational directors of our time. His games are frequently horrifying, using macabre, nonsensical imagery, like giant bedbugs, to intimidate players, many of whom are left numb after what they've seen. Perhaps inspired by older horror films like Eyes Without a Face, Cage's characters are mannequin-like in appearance, motivated by unusual and terrifyingly unknowable motives, and they often butcher everything around them. Like Kubrick's Clockwork Orange, Beyond Two Souls was so awe-inspiringly dreadful that the British government considered banning it for 30 years. They didn't, but they should have. Number 4. Supernatural leanings. Perhaps Cage's most impressive ability as a director is to convince the audience, through clever sleight of hand or gushing previews, that what they've seen is actually different than what it reveals itself to be. Take Beyond Two Souls, a game in which literally nothing makes sense and no effort is made to explain why. Like Un Chien Andalou, there's something deeper at work here, but no one really knows what. Perhaps not even Cage himself, judging by the implosion at the end of Fahrenheit, or the American children that speak in French accents in America in Heavy Rain, or the entirety of Beyond, a game so unreadable there's suspicion it may not actually be a game at all, and in fact be a highly evolved US numbers station. Number 3. Dream logic. Dream logic, or particularly for Cage, nightmare logic, is a bedrock of the director's work, which perhaps explains why none of his games make any sense. Why, in Beyond, would the viewer be asked to believe that infiltrating a Korean sub-base under the cover of a high-ranking general, while playing as a man whose face was mapped by an actual real American male model, makes any sense, unless Cage was testing our ability to deduce what's real, what isn't, and what is instead the terrifying place where reality and the subconscious meet. Like Wes Craven, Cage's work is resolutely postmodern, whereas Craven's films were witty deconstructions of forms he himself had helped popularize. Cage's games operate by letting the player know that he knows that they know that he knows that they know that they're idiots for enjoying any of this. Number 2. David Cage. Number 1. It's set in Detroit. Many of you out there will have seen the classic 1987 action sci-fi thriller Robot Cop. It may appear to be a Daft Paul Verhoeven film about a robot who is also a cop, hence the name Robot Cop, but it's perhaps one of the most prescient science fiction films ever made. Robot Cop's depiction of Detroit as being in a state of industrial decay, a city teetering on the edge of anarchy, mired in financial crisis, and dependent on cynical corporate machinations just to keep afloat, a skyscraper-dotted monument to the hubris of capitalism that's probably going to be all but abandoned by the time Cage's game is set. Well, that's exactly what Detroit is like now, in 2015, minus the robot cops. So what's David Cage doing? Taking that hell and inserting androids, which all science fiction fans know are just fucking robots with ideas above their station. The director is well known for watching many famous films and attempting to transplant the underpinning ideas into video games, invariably mangling them in the process when they don't fit because the forms are completely different in a lot of ways. Listen, Dave, just make Heavy Rain 2.